Let's now transition to our Monday Mailbag. It's our second edition. You got your mail in. We're now opening it all up and reading it. Let's start off on Instagram first because we had a pretty active one. Had Harrison Sorensen, a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show. He did like three separate comments on our Instagram post. By the way, Luke, got a lot of traction now on Instagram. So shout out to anyone that's new here listening in here on the podcast. Appreciate
Hey,
you.
before we get
You having
going,
us.
before we we,
Yeah.
we Monday Mailbag, click like, follow, share it on your story. Get it the word as much as possible because we want to grow and we want to be able to be the voice kind of the fans, but also information. I mean, we want to be an outlet that uh, alumni, students, prospecting students can go to and look at and see that we kind of know what's going on and we can inform a little bit and give our opinions. So yeah, always share it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Harrison starts off this Monday mailbag. He first said this that he says that he has a bold prediction that the Bearcats will go to their first bowl game this year. I agree with that. Also, the Bearcats have participated in bowls before, technically speaking, but it was all the way back in the 50s. It's
Well,
back in
if the Aggies can count their fake national championships, we can too, I guess, right?
sure, we can do that. Uh he can he says that in this next one, he said this isn't Sam related, but what would y'all do to change college football today? Personally, and Harrison says this personally, I feel like the college football experience is being hijacked by TV deals to make it more like the NFL and is slowly becoming soulless and not the version of football we fell in love with. What would y'all do to stop this trend? Personally, we can't stop it because money talks, but it's going back to having regionally based conferences and I without sounding controversial, you got to find a way to regulate the landscape madness that contains the transfer portal and NIL. But again, at the end of the day, money talks.
I completely agree. It is a little weird when we're fixing to go upon a season and we're gonna be watching an ACC game, in Palo Alto at 9 o'clock, and you're thinking, this isn't the Atlantic Coast. Um, I
It's
completely
Cal.
agree. Right, right,
It's
exactly.
going up against.
Soon enough, it's all going to come into one major conference, and they're going to do regional sides of that. And it's just going to come back to normal, which I kind of I don't want all just one big conference. Which they have been talking about it. I think it's like Greg Sankey, which is the SEC guy. Of course, he would lead it, SEC, of course. But that's where all the money is. But I mean, you're exactly right. Um, yeah, you got to find a way to sort of regulate the transfer portal, which it's tough because the big guys profit off it great. We kind of do a little bit because we'll get guys that didn't get playing time, talented players that didn't get playing time at upper teams, but at the same time, your best players, if they're not loyal and like super loyal, they'll walk away. And when you're getting offered that much money too, like why wouldn't you? Right? I mean, they got to make money too. So, and with all the money that's coming in, I feel like that's kind of out the door now. You just have to regulate um, NIL, which, it doesn't sound great because then, at the end of the day, I mean, these players do deserve a little bit of money. I mean, they bring in so much for this, for universities, regardless. The way to do it, I have no idea whether it's like a kind of a commission cap, like an NIL cap. You could do something like that, but
Like a salary cap for the NFL.
pretty much. I mean, it's turning into just a minor league.
Yeah.
I mean, soon enough, these professional teams will take stakes in these college programs or in conferences, and they'll just be able to elevate players. I mean,
Yeah.
soon enough, that's what's going to turn into.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Harrison also asked, how can Sam increase attendance. He says, I think a student group would be a good way to do so, like a student org that can work to make game days more enjoyable. And I think this kind of goes in hand to hand. He also says he feels like that there needs to be more traditions special to Sam Houston. The more crazy traditions, the better, especially since we will be on national TV. I agree with that sentiment, but first you got to get people to attend the games. Luke, how do you think Sam Houston can do that?
How do you think? I have no idea. I mean, they've been like Operation Zulu, which kind of tried there, which kind of failed. I think I don't know if it's still kind of going. Uh,
It's still going.
yeah, I mean, I don't know the campus. I mean, it's tough because Sam Houston's a little bit of that commute school. A lot of people coming in for class and they leave because they're in Conroe, Willis, College Station, Massendale, all around. Um, that's just gonna be something that Sam has to deal with. The good thing though is that it's a growing university. It's getting bigger and bigger. Every year there's like a new dorm on campus. I mean, I lived in Piney Woods my freshman year. At that point, that was the newest dorm. The next year, one more new dorm. Another next year, I think they're fixing to build another one, another parking garage. So with more students, you'll get more attendance in theory. Now, if that happens, I don't know. But with the traditions, as Harrison mentioned, you gotta figure out something else than the cat cage. I don't know if the cat cage is fun, but
Yeah, yeah. I
the,
got you.
I mean, we had the tailgate lot out there next to the stadium, and then they moved it out to intramural fields, which is really fun. But then it rains, and if you know anything about the intramural field, it's a pit, right? It all comes in and it's flat in the bottom, and so it gets very muddy. Uh,
Yeah.
Guys don't really want to be muddy that much. Girls definitely don't want to be muddy like that. You know, I don't know. Um, I'm biased. I really like what Baylor does with the Baylor line and all the freshmen go out on the field, all in their jerseys, and line up and the team runs through. It's one of the coolest things. Uh, I think. I mean, there's a bunch more towels. I don't know. There's a bunch of things I feel like the department can do to try. Um, it depends if it sticks, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's now transition to X slash
What
Twitter. Austin, yeah, what's up?
do you think?
You kind of touched all my points right there. I don't really have a set, you know, conclusion, but I do know one thing. Winning gets people there.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
it with basketball. So with basketball, especially later on.
hmm And also, I think that there needs to be. I'm going to be intentionally vague on this because I kind of want to save this topic for another day. But I feel like there needs to be more buying into the athletics when it comes to the school itself.
Promotion.
I think there needs to be more buying in, like because if you don't buy in, then the students won't buy in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? The volleyball team shouldn't have to be out there with the chalk on the sidewalks on campus saying
Yeah,
come to our game. They shouldn't have to do that.
yeah. But
Glad
we'll
they did,
talk.
but they shouldn't have to.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that at a later day because I feel like that's its own separate thing. That's a whole another can of worms I don't feel like opening up today. But let's go ahead and transition to Twitter to continue this edition of Monday Mailbag. Austin Farmer, um, excuse me, um, tweets at us, who's an incoming player when it comes to football y'all are most excited for, and do y'all think stadium renovations will bring in more fans? And he says these are questions coming from a guy who barely keeps up with football. I keep saying Jason Bauer, and I will say I am pretty excited about Jay the running back from the
Memphis.
Memphis Titans. Yeah, Jay Ducker. I believe his. I'm saying that last correctly. He's pretty intriguing because he actually played a good handful of snaps over the past couple of years, and yeah, it is Jay Ducker. I was right the first time. I don't know why I keep doubting myself, but either way, I think he's going to be exciting. So I don't know. Yeah. Who do you think? Who do you
I'm
who are you
I'm
excited
right there
about?
with you. I'm right there with you,
Uh,
the running back,
Jay Ducker?
Jay Ducker.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, last year the running game was, I mean, the whole offense was tough. It wasn't very good. And you felt like if you could get the running game going a little bit, that would open up the pass. But the running game was okay at best. At times, of course, the O line, leading the way on that. We were undersized at every position, everywhere. In conference, out of conference, didn't matter. The only team we were bigger than was Kennesaw State, which you would expect, but um, brings a little bit more inf in inside the room, a little bit of experience playing in a pretty good conference there in the American, um, playing some big games, been around some big games, some really good players. So I'm excited for that, especially the running back.
Yeah, and the when it comes to the stadium renovations, we'll bring in more fans. I agree with that. I think at first it will because people will be curious about the new turf. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the long run. I'm not really thinking of that right now. I think right now that football just needs to win. If football wins a lot more than last year, which is not, I don't think it's going to be that hard to do after last year. But if football wins, the people will show up.
That's
Cats, yeah,
You know what? That's what it comes down to, though.
yeah,
You can show up for the facilities, but you're not. You show up for the facilities, but you stay for the team.
hmm absolutely. Cats on top says, with the recent football updates, do you think the university is finally committed to building good athletic facilities?
It's a
I
brutal
don't.
question.
Yeah,
What a great question.
that is such a great question. I'll give Cats on top credit for that.
If you'll donate,
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
but who am I to say, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not a fly on the wall in the athletics facilities, so I can't say.
If you
Walker
donate more
Yawnix
money,
biggest fan
they'll
tweeted out.
build. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you finish your thought. Finish your thought.
If you donate more money, the better the athletics facilities could be.
Yeah, man,
Depends if they
I'm
want to
not
do it to that. I mean, they
that
could throw it to something else.
that question is so good. It discombobulated this whole podcast.
Yeah, it's the question that every program asks. Well, why don't we just
Yeah,
build better? Well,
yeah,
it's not in the budget, dude.
it
Great question though. I mean, I asked the same.
is. It is a great question. Walker Yawnix, biggest fan, asked us if we will have more sports like the other Conference USA schools have, which it was immediately answered pretty quickly by other people. That is, beach volleyball will be something that's getting added in the spring of 2025. Um, Details on the roster and the coaching staff will be announced at a later date. Yes,
If you could add any sport at Sam Houston, what would it be?
men's soccer,
In soccer.
without a doubt.
Yeah, I would say you could find a way to elevate the rugby team right now with how good they are.
Yes, that as well. Yes.
Men's soccer. I used to play tennis, so I'd say men's tennis too. But ice hockey.
Yeah,
Same as
maybe.
ice hockey would be sick.
Yeah.
I don't know
Eh,
where that would be.
I mean, Huntsville, ice hockey. I mean, maybe.
Maybe not. Well, I just saw.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I think it was one of the HBCUs. I think it was in Tennessee. I got the
I,
wrong
uh,
completely wrong,
I,
but they just added ice hockey.
yeah. I wouldn't know. So
Just saying it'd be cool.
it would be.
Or water polo.
Ooh, water polo would be fun. It's hard. I'll say that. It's a
Water
hard
polo is really
sport.
fun to watch in the Olympics. Yeah,
It's a hard sport.
that could be absolutely electric. I don't know where you would hold it though.
I mean, you got the Rex Center's pole in the back, but I don't think it's big enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, that'll wrap up the Monday mailbag.